société.
Well, for more on that, I'm joined by Rhiannon Smith, the Managing Director of Libya-Analysis and also the Deputy Director at ISIS in Libya.com. Thanks for being with us on France 24 tonight. For several years now, the situation in Libya has been getting steadily worse. This is a country that is effectively split in two rival governments, a lot of arms floating around in the country. Can this initiative by Emmanuel Macron help the situation?
Well, Libya is certainly in dire need of a political solution to the problems for all the reasons you have said. However, it remains unclear whether this deal between Saraj and Haftar will be the answer that we're looking for. So there were three key things they agreed in the meeting today. The first was to have a ceasefire. However, the forces that Saraj control and Haftar control are actually not currently fighting, so this will not have any impact on the ground currently. Another was to only use their forces for counter-terror purposes. Now, the problem with that is that Haftar and his Libyan National Army in the east of the country have actually always classed all of their rivals as terrorists. Therefore, it's very difficult to know if that will actually stop them pushing forwards with their military operations, potentially from the east to the west. And the final thing is they have agreed, in theory, to have presidential and parliamentary elections next year. Now, the first thing is there are many Libyan agreements and peace deals that have been brokered on paper, but that actually never make it to reality on the ground. This may well be the case here. The other thing to remember is that Haftar is a military general. So although Saraj is the head of the UN-backed government, Haftar doesn't really have any authority. He does have some power on the ground, but kind of legal legitimacy to be making a deal and to be planning elections. So there are still a lot of question marks over what this meeting and what this deal will actually achieve towards peace in Libya.
And there are concerns as well, aren't there, about lending credibility to Haftar, who is, as you say, a military leader. He's essentially an insurgent. He's not the internationally recognised leader of Libya. Could involving him in official talks actually make the situation worse?
Well, there's a few things to consider here. So it has become kind of accepted in the international community more and more so that Haftar does need to be part of the political solution in Libya because he is a very key figure. He controls a lot of loyalty and forces in the east of the country. So I don't think anyone's debating that as such. However, the problem is that, as you say, he is a military commander, and the fact that he's been attending these talks with Macron and others, this really gives him some political legitimacy in the country. And I think that is a danger because we do not know, where that will lead and what will happen next, really.
And of course, one of the problems for Libya is the complete collapse of its institutions, its judicial system. Its economy has taken a huge hit over the disruption to oil production. How can those institutions and those industries be rebuilt?
Well, this is a very important question. And, I believe that Libya does need political unity. And I think the danger, in order to rebuild these institutions, oil production is currently increasing, but the economic situation is really very dire. And this is made worse by a lack of central institutions, a lack of authority, three competing governments, a multitude of different militias. So if this meeting between Haftar and Saraj can be a step towards greater political reconciliation, that's great. However, the signs are that it may not be. Haftar has always, until now, refused to be involved in political negotiations. It seems likely the only reason he is now involved is because he feels that this will benefit him, whether that's a case of getting political legitimacy and then running for president in the elections that they've just agreed to hold, or whether it's a case of building up this kind of anti-terror support following his recent victory in Benghazi against a variety of Islamist militias. Then it may be that he actually uses this newfound support to push for military control of Libya, which is what he's always said he's wanted. He's always previously said that he did not agree or believe in a negotiated or political solution to Libya. So again, it will be interesting to see if this agreement and any of its outputs actually translate into any changes on the ground.
Rhiannon Smith, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Well, as Emmanuel Macron pointed out,